What is up, my peeps? Joshua Smith at GSD Mode Studios with another weekly real estate tip. And today's tip comes from one of you, one of our amazing listeners that asks me about my recommended daily planning along with sleep and some other questions. It's a multi-part question that came in. Now, real quick, before I jump into today's question, if you guys have a question that you want answered here live on the podcast, live on the show, make sure to shoot me an email to questions@gsdmode.com with any obstacle, anything that you're experiencing that you would like me to help you get dialed in. I will answer your question here live on the show. Also, if you're a real estate agent, team leader, or brokerage owner that wants to level up your real estate business, take your real estate business to the next level, and are interested in my year-long coaching and mentorship program, make sure to check out masterybootcamp.com, which is my personal mentorship coaching program. You can learn more about what it entails, what's included, how it works. You can schedule a 100% absolutely pressure-free discovery call to get all your questions answered and see if the program is a fit for you. So again, masterybootcamp.com. All right, so today's question comes from Dylan. And again, Dylan, I really appreciate you taking the time to submit your question, man. So it's a two-part question, so I'm gonna hit both parts separately here. So the first question is on the structure of my personal day. So here's the question. Do you plan daily around the major activities that you've planned beforehand, or do you work more on a habitual schedule throughout the day, such as emails at 8 a.m., 9 a.m. brainstorming and research, 10 a.m. follow-ups, 11 a.m. website development, 12 p.m. lunch, etc., right? So great question, man. So, and the answer is I do both, right? And I'm going to break down here, and I'm going to walk you guys through my daily planning and reflection process. And this is, I can't think of one daily activity that I do and that I have done for years now that has had a more positive impact than this daily planning and daily reflection process. It is so massive, and it's my main focus each and every day to make sure that I hit this in and that I nail this. All right, so I'm going to walk you guys through this and show you what this looks like. Now, yeah, you know, in some of my businesses, in a perfect world, it would be like, hey, we could schedule out a year ahead of time what our perfect schedule looks like each and every day. But I found that in real estate, because so many things come up, it's a fast-moving business. There's a lot of irons in the fire, you know, right? It's very difficult for me to know each and any given day what my next 24 hours is going to fully look like. So this is why I say I take it day by day. And this is something that's been really powerful for me, right? So instead of thinking about what's going on the whole week or the whole month or so forth, because the reality is, you guys, you want to win the year, you got to win enough months. In order to win the month, you got to win the weeks. In order to win the week, you got to win the day. So I take it day by day, and I'm just living my life on 16 or 18-hour blocks, depending on how much sleep I was able to get the night before. So let's just say you're sleeping 8 hours a night, and it's like, okay, well, you got 16 hours to go out there and kick ass in life and kick ass in business. So I'm really just taking it day by day. Now, I always start my plan. I do my planning and my reflection in the evening, and I like to do this before I leave the office, before I end my work day at the office. I like to have my next day fully planned out. So then I know each and every day, from the second I go to wake up to the second I go to bed, what my plan is, what my schedule is, what winning looks like for the next 24 hours of my life. I've also found that this allows me, when I get home, right? It's like I've already bookended my day. Man, it allows me to go home, be present with my kids, be present with my wife, not be so stressed out about work, because it's like, again, dude, I know from the second I wake up till the second I go to bed that next day, what needs to get done to make today a win. The other thing, before I get into the specifics of my planning process, and you guys, I created this multi-page, it's like 6 pages of a daily plan or daily reflection process. I am creating my own. And the reason being is I've experimented with so many different types of planners, so many different apps and so forth out there. I can never find the perfect one for me. You know, so I just looked at, okay, what are the things that I love about it? What are the things that are missing? And I just created my own. And I'm not saying to copy mine. You got to use whatever works best for you, but find a system that works best for you and be intentional with taking 20 or 30 minutes each and every day to plan out your day. And then also, it's not just the planning is critical, but I also want to reflect, right? I don't want to just get through the day. I want to get from the day. Each and every day, I want to learn, like, what were the mistakes I made? How can I become more effective and efficient, right? All of those important things. So let's first start with the planning. So if you look at this on page 1 here, so if you guys can see this here, right? The GSD Mode Daily Performance Planner. And what I'll do, if you guys want a copy of this, email me at questions@gsdmode.com, and I'm happy to give you a copy of this. All right, so first thing that I'm going to include is tomorrow's date. So I'll put in tomorrow's date at the top. Then I'm going to identify the next thing, that the next line is my yearly goals. The reason I want to do this is, man, I want to be writing my goals down each and every day, right? So I want to know what my 12-month goals are, let's just say I'm creating this video in 2020. What are my 2020 goals for my real estate business? Then each and every day, I set a daily intention. What is my intention for the next 24 hours? Then from there, I give my outcomes, which is the same thing as a goal, right? What's the number one outcome that if I accomplish this over the next 12 months, then I'm out there crushing it and I'm out there winning, right? So I do it for business, I do it for health, and I also do it for my family. Then from there, the next portion is how many months that I have left. So if you haven't heard of my lifetime study model, this is just something that lights a fire under my ass and gives me motivation each and every day. So I take the average age of 84, which is the average age that the average human being lives in a developed country. I subtract that from my current age, right? So that shows me how many years I have left. Then I multiply that by 12, so it shows me how many months that I have left. But then I back out, well, how many months have I already been at this age? And it's always readjusting each and every month. But when I do that, let's just say, because if you sit there and like, oh, well, I got 40 years left on this planet, or however old that you are, we become very, time can deceive us. We can not think about time in the right way. But if all of a sudden you broke down, and you're like, well, shit, I got 500 and X amount of months left. Like, these months go by fast. I mean, look at the time that I'm creating this video right now. It's April 27th of 2020. It felt like it was just New Year's, man. So January flew by, February flew by, March flew by, now April's flying by. So these months just fly off the calendar. So when I see that each and every day that I got X amount of months left, it just lights a fire under my ass. So I always include that in there. Then I write out, the next thing is I write out 10 daily gratitudes. And the reason why I write out 10 is I found that, man, writing out 2 or 3 daily gratitudes is very easy. And I want to, because the thing with us driven entrepreneurs, which I know if you're watching this episode right now, that is you, right? One of our the blessings that we have, but also if we're not, it's a virtue and it could be a vice too, is that we're never satisfied, we're driven, we always want to create more. Well, it's very easy if we're not intentional just to become, unsatisfied grumps. And I don't want to be an unsatisfied grump, right? I never want to be satisfied. I always want to keep pushing. I always want to go for more. I always want to be trying to reach my full potential, which the great thing about that being an ultimate driver in life is that we can never reach our full potential, right? Once you hit an area, you realize that, shit, I'm capable of more, right? So I have that unsatisfied element, but I also want to be intentional each and every day to count my blessings, to be grateful for all the things that I have in my life, for the water to drink, for the Logitech Brio high definition camera and this computer and the internet that I'm able to speak into this video and create this video and impact lives out there. So, for those of you that are watching this, that this is impactful for, and so forth, right? So when I have 10, it forces me to go deeper each and every day and look at, the things that I'm truly blessed that I have in my life. Then from there, once I do my 10 gratitudes, this is all on the first page, then I have my top 3 must-do activities to ensure that tomorrow is a win, or if you're planning the morning of, that today is a win, right? Because here's the thing, you guys, we can have 100 different things on our to-do list. Well, of those 100 things, like if your day goes to shit, if you get a bunch of fires you got to put out that day and the day goes to shit, and there's only 3 things that you can get done, I want to identify, okay, what are the 3 things that if I get nothing else done on my day, if everything else goes to hell, I get none of the other things done, my day was still powerful. I still moved that needle forward. So if you're an individual agent, or even if you're a team leader in production or so forth, this is probably going to be something around conversations, appointment set, and appointment conductions, right? Or so forth with there. Maybe it's leads, appointment set, in conversations that you're having, but the main money-making activities that are moving that needle forward. All right, so then from there, I'm going to get clarity on the exact breakdown of the next day activities that I have to do, right? Here's the cool thing. When we're planning effectively, The path is in the math, right? Like you guys, you need to know if I got to chop down this tree, how many times do I got to swing that damn axe, right, to chop down that tree? We need to know that in our business. So I'm going to break out each day, okay, how many dials, how many conversations, how many appointments set, how many appointment conductions, right? How many buyer brokers, listing agreements, deals under contract, closings must I get in the next 24 hours to keep my business moving forward? So when we know that each and every day, it keeps us focused on those activities. Because again, this is the plan for the next 24 hours of my life to make this next 24 hours useful, to make sure that it is a win. Each and every day, man, you need to know, are you winning or losing? Did you win yesterday or did you lose yesterday? If you're just trying to show up to the office and hope and pray that you're going to be productive and have a great day, you're not going to win. You might get lucky at times, but you're not going to consistently win, right? The path is in the math, one of my favorite sayings. So then from there, I break down, all right, what's my daily self-development plan? What's my daily workout meditation going to be? What's my daily family time and personal time? So with this planner, I don't make it just about business, right? Like I'm trying to win in life, business, personal life, all of it. I want to win in all of it. So I'm going to be intentional with my planning on all of this stuff. So I'm looking at my daily family and personal time plan. What's my lead generation plan for the day? What's my online lead generation, offline lead generation? What's my past client plan? What's my content creation plan for the day? I'm going through and filling all of those out. Then below that, I've got my daily to-do list, right? So I'm writing out, this is where I'm writing out every little thing that needs to be done, right? So all my daily to-dos. And again, personal and business. This could be like, dude, my closets drive me freaking crazy. I need to spend 15 minutes organizing my closet. Maybe you got your kid's event. Maybe you got whatever it is, right? Plus all the little things that you need to get done in the office. So I'm completing this, my daily to-do list. And remember, all these daily to-dos on that first page are my top, out of all those to-dos, what are the top 3 that move that needle forward? I want to get clear and identify those. Then what I do is now I go to my Google Calendar. Once I have all my to-dos done, I've identified my top 3, I go to my Google Calendar, and the first thing that I do is I transfer any appointment. So on my Google Calendar, I only have my actual appointments that are set for that next day. So I'll put on my daily calendar, which is a 24-hour calendar in 15-minute increments. I'm going to put all my actual appointments on there. Then from there, I'm going to start filling in all the to-dos. So I don't operate off my to-do list. I'm operating off of my 24-hour calendar, which has all my to-dos in there. And my goal each and every day, my main goal is to have 0 white space on that calendar. Because you look, guys, there's always things that we can be doing. I'll get asked sometimes of, oh, dude, don't you take any time off just to chill, just to relax? Sure. Right? Like I have times where fuck, dude, I need a nap. Like tomorrow I'm going to try to schedule in a nap. Tomorrow I'm going to try to schedule maybe to go watch a movie. Tomorrow I'm going to go schedule in time with my kids. Tomorrow I'm going to go schedule in a hike. Whatever it may be. Yeah, I have those things too, but I'm going to make sure it's committed to my calendar. So I live and die each and every day by my calendar. So then this goes back to your question, Dylan, of, do you have specific times that you do things each and every day? In a perfect world, yes, but I also allow myself to pull audibles, right? You guys got to understand it. It's like an airplane. So when an airplane takes off, when it's in the air, it spends 90% of its time adjusting the nose to the target. And why? Because of turbulence. We're going to have turbulence that comes up in our business, turbulence that comes up in our life, right? You might get a call today, your kid's at school, they're sick, you got to go pick them up, right? Well, that might have thrown off some of my lead generation activities for that day. All right, okay, I can make up for that tomorrow because I know my numbers and I can reverse engineer that, right? And I got to pull an audible. Maybe I have a client that is flying in from out of state that is only here for 2 days and has 8 hours for 16 hours, 8 hours each day to go out there and find a house. Well, I might have to make more time for that. And that might change my lead generation time, and so forth. Now, I do have my master calendar though, right? On my master calendar, that's where I always schedule, and that's always on my Google Calendar, my repetitive tasks. Like for an example, every single Tuesday morning, I update every one of my active listings that's not under contract with a report based on what's going on with their listing, right? How many showings we've had, what the feedback has been, what we're doing to market their property and expose their property, what our professional recommended plan or recommended action steps are to adjust, make any adjustments needed, to the property or to pricing or, including any comps. So that's every single Tuesday at X time. right? Then every one of my buyers and sellers that are under contract, every Tuesday and every Friday, they are going to get an update from me on exactly where their file is at. Every buyer that I have, that we have a buyer broker in place, that we have a pre-qual on, that isn't actively on the calendar, well, every Monday and every Thursday, they get a special reach out from us. So things like that are always going to be on my calendar. So we have the set times, so they're happening. They're never forgot. Those things are always on my calendar. So that's what my master calendar with those things. But then from there, when it comes to my lead gen time, my lead follow-up time, my client appointment time, I take it day by day. Right? And again, in a perfect world, I would try to knock all that stuff out by noon, and then have, let's just say, from noon to 7 p.m. where that's just client appointments and additional prospecting, client appointments, money making activities. Where from 8 a.m. to noon, I got everything else done in my business. All my email prospecting, all my phone call follow-ups, all my paperwork, all of that stuff. In a perfect world, that's how it operated. But there's going to be times where I get a listing appointment that can only be done at, let's just say, 9 a.m. or a buyer. Now, I'm going to try to control my schedule, be proactive, not reactive. So I'm going to try to set my appointment times more in the afternoon. However, it's just not always a reality. So I leave myself the permission to pull an audible so I can transition my schedule, because it's, the work just has to get done. At the end of the day, that's the most important part. There's better times for you doing your phone calls. If I'm calling between, let's just say, 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. and then 4 p.m. and 6 p.m., I'm going to have a higher call answer ratio and so forth versus, calling at noon or 11 a.m. each day, right? So there are more optimal times. However, at the end of the day, the work just needs to get done. I got to clear up my task queue each and every day and make sure that those dials and so forth are happening. So I leave myself that permission to take it day by day and plan it day by day, right? So I'm doing that each and every day with my planning. Then from there, when that element's done, so let's just say the day is over, then I go into my reflection time, right? So I had already planned out all the things that needed to happen for today to be a win. Now when I go into my reflection, I'm like, okay, what were the actual numbers hit? How many dials I actually do, right? How many conversations I actually have? How many appointments? Because I always want to take on the kind of the should have done versus what actually transpired and took place. So that's number one. I'm breaking down what actually happened, which then if I fall short or if I'm ahead, that allows me for more effective planning for the next day, right? But then there's some deeper reflection questions that I go through, right? Number one is what got on my calendar or on my schedule and or my to-do list that is not getting me one step closer to accomplishing my goal. The reason why I want to look at these is I want to identify, where the waste come in? And look, we're always trying new things. We're having new meetings, new appointments. But I want to, while that stuff is fresh, man, I want to be like, okay, hey, was that effective? As an example, dude, I don't do lunch meetings anymore. Unless it's like with a client, it's essential, somebody I'm trying to get a meeting with and they want a lunch meeting. But if it's somebody that wants a meeting with me, I am not going to do a lunch meeting. You've got the additional drive time, got all the extra small talk, wasted time with eating, right? So it's instead an hour lunch meeting, I can get done in 15 minutes through a Zoom virtual meeting, or if I make them come to my office, right? So those little things you just learn each and every day as you're going through this, right? Then I'm going to identify, are there any things, so with the things then that are getting me one step closer to the outcome that I want to create, are there any things that I can become more effective and efficient at? Could I do this a little bit more effectively? Like maybe you're calling your home inspector to set up home inspections. And then you realize, well, man, maybe instead of doing that, I just call my home inspector or text my home inspector and give them all the information they need with all the parties' contact information, the few times that you can be there and so forth, and let the home inspector go through and do all the legwork out. And that maybe just saved you 30 minutes in your day, right? So each and every day I'm looking at how can I become a little bit more effective? How can I become a little bit more efficient? Then I go through some kind of deeper reflection questions. Question number one is, if those that depend on me, like your family, right? If they shadowed you all day long, would they be proud or would they be disappointed with your performance? Like if your wife and kids or husband and kids, whatever, was a fly on the wall all day long, would they be like, oh man, like you're gone all day long and we're struggling financially and this is what the hell you do with your time? or would they be like, wow, high five, honey, like you crushed it? Would your kids be like, man, my dad, my mom is such a hard worker, so blessed to have such a amazing, mom or dad that works so hard for us, right? Like, what's that answer going to be? The next question then is, if you were to hire a CEO to replace you and you were paying them a large salary, if they did exactly what you did today, they got the same results you got today, would you be proud of their performance or disappointed, right? So, and the reason I ask this question is essentially you're asking yourself, would you fire your own ass? And for most of us, we probably would be firing our own ass on a daily basis. If you were paying somebody $200,000 a year to replace you as the CEO of your company, right? Would you be cool if they did the same shit you did today? Or would you expect more out of them? The only way that you're going to get yourself in a position to be able to hire a staff and lead a team and lead an organization, hire people to replace you at each level of your organization so you can create a true business is to lead by example, man. You got to level up. You got to become a very effective leader and somebody that you'd be proud, right, of their performance, right? If you can't lead yourself to those results, you're never going to be able to hire somebody else that's going to lead to those same results, right? And here's the thing, you guys, I don't answer proud to these each and every day. Right? The times that I answer disappointed, which is the follow-up to this question, is if you answer disappointed for either of those questions, what must you change in your personal daily performance to change your answer, right? And that becomes really powerful, man. That way I know how I can start removing less of the disappointed, the days. I mean, so many people are so focused on, I got to hit it out of the park each and every day. I just need to crush it and so forth. Instead, how I operate, what I found more effective to me, at least in the beginning, to get to the point where you're knocking out home runs all the time, is eliminating the bad days, right? If I can just if I consistently have good days, not amazing, not world-class days, just good days, consistently have good days, and I remove those bad or subpar days, right? I'm going to create a great business if I'm just have consistently good days, right? Being the tortoise, not necessarily the hare, right? Just consistently showing up each and every day. So I'm trying to minimize the bad days or the disappointments, right? And each and every day, just get a little bit better, right? You may not even notice it each and every day, but if you are consciously doing this type of work over time, after a year or two from now, people will be like, dude, you're a freaking freak. They won't even recognize you when it was just you doing tiny incremental changes that nobody even noticed, and you wouldn't even notice day in and day out, that after a year or two of that compounded to where people think that you are a freak of nature. So that's how I approach each and every day with my planning. Now, the second question to Dylan's, or second part of Dylan's question here is also, if you are waking up as early as you do, but it's here 1 to 3 a.m., how many hours of sleep are you looking to get each day? So, and this is a great question, and I'll answer this, but more importantly, you need to identify how much sleep you need personally, right? I mean, each of us are different. And I have people that I know that can get by on 4 hours of sleep a night, and they're still rock stars. I can't do that. I wished I could. I tried for a lot of years. I'm a zombie when I operate that way. So what are the amount of hours that you need to sleep, right, where you're able to go out there and be the best version of yourself? Let's just say that's 8 hours. I'd rather sleep a little bit more, and have less hours of work in a day, but I'm fully rested. My mind, I'm able to think strategically, and I'm operating at a better version of myself. I'd rather have 8 or 10 fully productive, energetic hours than 15 hours with me operating like a zombie. So right now, my goal. And this is kind of a longer term goal with everything going on right now with COVID-19. I find myself waking up earlier and earlier. My goal is to go to bed at 8 p.m. every night and get up at 4 a.m. So 8 hours of sleep. However, right now, I'm up naturally about 2:30 every single morning. 2 or 2:30, sometimes 1:30. It's just differs on the day. But what I do is, and the reason that I get up when I wake up naturally, instead of waiting until my alarm goes off at 4 a.m., is I found for me, if I go back to sleep and then wait till that alarm wakes me up, I'm more tired than I was when I just naturally get up. So I'm naturally waking up between 1:30 and 2:30 every single morning, and I'm wide awake. So I just get my ass up and get to work. So, but I'm in bed now when I'm getting up that early, which it's been like this for about 90 days now. I don't know what the cause of it is. I'm not necessarily stressed at a higher level. But just naturally, that's been my sleep cycle. And I'm in bed usually by 7:30 p.m. or 8 o'clock at night. So I'm still trying to get 6 hours or so in there of solid sleep. But hopefully over time, I'm working up to getting that 8 hours of sleep. But my body does really well if I get 6 solid hours of sleep. I make sure to drink a lot of water. I eat clean. I eat healthy organic foods, and so forth. And I manage stress by being proactive, by daily planning, daily reflection, being proactive in my life. I don't have the stress that most people do, right? Stress is a choice. We need to understand that. So when you minimize stress, when you don't have internal or external stress, right? You're eating healthy, you're taking care of your body, you're drinking a lot of water. I've just found for me, I don't need as much sleep. But don't compare yourself to me. If you need 7 hours, if you need 8 hours, get the amount of sleep that you need. You can get 8 hours of sleep. You have still 16 hours to go out there and crush it. You just got to decide how you're going to spend that 16 hours of your time. And if you're daily planning and daily reflecting, you're going to be very effective with the time that you have. And again, if you guys want a copy of this, shoot me an email, questions@gsdmode.com, and just say that you want a copy of my planner, and I will go ahead and forward you guys a copy of this. Also, if you have questions for your real estate business that you would like me to answer here live on the show, shoot me an email to questions@gsdmode.com. Happy to answer any questions, help you get dialed in your business. Lastly, if you are interested in being mentored and coached by me personally for the next 12 months of your life, make sure to check out masterybootcamp.com, where you can learn more about what the program entails, see a ton of testimonials, book a schedule 100% zero pressure discovery call so you can get all your questions answered, see if the program's a fit for you, and so forth. So again, masterybootcamp.com. All right, guys, I hope that this was helpful. Keep up the amazing work, keep kicking ass, and I'll see you next week. Peace.